do this. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Ricky2ra Podcast, episode 38, and the final episode of 2020. This is, I can't believe I've actually said that. It's the final one of 2020. This felt like yesterday I started this podcast. Anyway, I know I do this every time, but before I get into talking, how are you all doing? I hope you guys had a lovely Christmas. I hope you guys got to see, your family, if you got to see your family. If you didn't, I understand. We had a quiet one as well. So, yeah, I just hope everybody had a good Christmas and just stayed safe. The main thing as well. So anyway, it came and went though, didn't it? Did it Christmas feel like long or short for you? It felt very short for me. I'm working in the shop only for a few hours, but yeah, I once closed the shop up and obviously just chilled out. It just flew, but I guess that's what happens really, because it is only one day. But anyway, we're still kind of in the holiday period, you can say. Like between Christmas and New Year's, it's like, what day is it? What do I do? So yeah, it's kind of been a little bit hard for me. I don't even know what I only found out last night that I was going to record today for the podcast, because I totally forgot what day it was, even though I did do a little bit of planning on Monday of what I was going to talk about. But even then, in my planning on Monday, I just literally just wrote 4 topics and I wrote nothing else to elaborate. So this is going to be a fun episode because I wrote wing it. So I guess I'm winging it, as I'm freestyling it this episode. But yeah, I hope you guys did have a nice Christmas, and I hope you guys have a happy New Year. And I guess I speak for everybody in the entire world. I hope we have a better 2021. But anyway, going back to what I was saying before, what was I talking about? I was talking about the podcast episode. Yeah, this is the last podcast episode of 2020. I started this in April, I think like 15th of April or something like that. And April felt like yesterday, even though this year felt like January, February, December, if you know what I mean, because it was just a whirlwind from March onwards. Especially March. I can't, if I vlogged like I vlog now, like in the shop and stuff, back then, in March, trust me, I would have had some crazy content of people just grabbing stuff from the shop. But obviously I didn't. But even though if it happened now, I don't think I would even vlog it, because I didn't have the time. Do you know what I mean? I was in the shop like literally all day, just constantly serving people. And this was before social distancing. This was just like everybody like going past everyone, and just so and they were crazy. People were going like, I understand, but never experienced anything like that ever. So yeah, it was just crazy. It was crazy. How long did lockdown last in the UK? Was it March, April, May, June? Was it June or July? I remember I've been to one restaurant since March, and that was on my birthday. I went to Almost Famous in Leeds for a bite. I love Almost Famous. For the specific UK audience that listen to this, if you like your burgers and stuff, Almost Famous is the place. But yeah, that's about it really. And obviously, like, you guys know that I work in retail and stuff like that. Like, there's been no days off. Like Christmas, yes, it was a day off, but we did work and stuff. But like, when people support their local now. I'm totally going off topic, by the way. This is not the thing that I'm put on my note sheet. But I hadn't even started the actual topics yet. I'm just talking, but yeah, it's just this year's just been crazy in general. Like, I hope for you guys that are listening, it's probably maybe been a different experience. Like, you've probably been staying at home if you haven't been working in the office or working from home. Like, I'm guessing like everybody else's routines have changed this year as well. Like, I know I've talked about this many times, but in February I was only in Blackpool for the Magic Convention. I was around everyone, and then literally like 2 to 3 weeks later the whole country was on lockdown. So it's crazy, man, how something can just click like that. One time you're like out and about, the next thing you know you're locked at home. So it's crazy, man. And I don't think any of us really predicted this. Like, you couldn't predict it. Like, stuff on the news and stuff, like when you say, oh, they've got cases in China and stuff, you think like, yeah, that's there. But then when you start hearing, oh, it's spread there, or it's around the world, oh, there's so many cases in the UK, you're like, oh my god, what the hell is going on? Like, for me, for gig-wise, I've done no gigs whatsoever. And that's why I started this podcast. This podcast was always a thing that we're going to do anyway. But gigs have just been non-stopped. And if you do hear me drinking, like, I've got my coffee here with me, so I will be taking some coffee sips during this as well. But yeah, gig-wise, for like every single magician, like, I don't know what it's like in different countries. I haven't done my research on it. I don't know if different countries have different like rules, so maybe like magicians can perform for people in different countries. I don't know, but I know here in the UK, like, everybody's gone digital. And like I've said in other episodes, you know, if in 2021 it doesn't get solved, this whole thing, by summer or latest October, I think I'm going to have to go to that route. The only reason why I haven't gone to that route is just because of my time in the shop at the moment. Like, I've been producing content to make up for that. If you guys haven't noticed, like, on my Instagram, my LinkedIn, on my Twitter, on my Facebook page, I do try to put out as much content as possible that one man can do. So yeah, like, since April, it's just been, you've probably seen me on socials somewhere, but that's about it really. But hopefully for 2021, it's about, and I was reading a newsletter from Vanishing Ink, which is a magic company, and I read it this morning, and they were saying 2021 is about rebuilding. And I 100% agree with that, because we didn't predict what was going to happen in 2020, and it just hit us so hard that we were on the floor for most of the year, and we got back up in about August time, slowly, and we started, you know, winning the rounds a little bit, not by much, but we started getting up and throwing our hands about. But hopefully for 2021 we take that knockout lesson and we build from it and we move on, and hopefully we start getting on the other side of normality again. So yeah, that was my starter. I hadn't even told you about the topics yet. I told you this was a totally freestyled episode. But before I start, let's get Weatherman Rick up and running. I'm telling you now, I'm looking out my window. I haven't seen a sunrise as beautiful as this. Call me sad, call me weird, whatever you want. I can only describe it to you because I don't want to move my camera, YouTube. Like, for the YouTube people that are watching this, I'm like looking at a sunrise. Obviously there's clouds in the way. I can only describe it to Lion King. Do you know the sunrise and that? But you've got like an orange at the bottom, and then slowly, if you look up to the sky, it turns like pinkish behind the clouds. It looks beautiful. Honestly, it really does. like the whole sky's purple, but where the sun is, it's like orange towards the bottom. As you look up, it's pink. It's amazing, and that we're on 12 minutes past 8 in the morning. I haven't seen a sun like since I've started filming my podcast episodes, and I've been looking out the window. It's been like pitch black, but the sunrise is amazing today, as well. When I used to take my dog for a walk, I always used to take a photo of the sunrise as well, just because when you're out in the moment, it's amazing. Obviously, I'm looking at it through my window, but if I was outside looking at it, in person, it'd be even better. But yeah, that's. I've told you, I'm totally winging this episode, man. I'm just telling you what's on my mind. But yeah. Anyway, so what are we gonna talk about? Okay. I wrote 4 topics, but I think I'm gonna freestyle it. So these topics may or may not be talked about, but I'm just gonna tell you what I wrote, because this is what I wrote, and then I'm just gonna get on with the episode. So, for the first I'm not going to put first topic, second, forget that, because I might not even talk about it. The stuff that I wrote down is 2021 goals, YouTube channel, advice for creating content, live event predictions. Now, looking at this, because I made these notes a couple of days ago, advice for creating content I think I've talked about, so I don't know if I'll talk about that. Live event predictions. This is an updated one as the world is changing, so I may talk about that. YouTube channel. What is there to talk about YouTube? I'll see what I can do with that one. Let's start off with just 2021 goals. Just because I was on the topic of not doing gigs and stuff as well. And then we'll see where we go from there, and I'll stick all the topics in the title once I release this. But yeah, 2021 goals. Okay. So 2021 goals. Like I said, I've made no other notes on this, so I'm just doing this from the top of my head, really. 2021 goals. Personally, for me, I want to go back to doing gigs. But that's the easy route now. This would have been a totally different answer last year if I was doing this podcast. But yeah, 2021, I'm hoping for the second half of the year that I can get back up and running to doing gigs. So from talking about like June, July time, hopefully. For the first half of the year, I'm looking to create content again. But hopefully, putting projects that I've done like in the past, like full film projects in between my content that I create as well. So hopefully that's what I want to do more. Like I've told you, I haven't like planned this out or anything, so this is the top of my head, so don't take like 100% of my word. My goals may change like tonight, tomorrow, so I'm just telling you what's on my mind at the moment. What else? Yeah, just more content creation. Hopefully getting back into the gig routine. I hopefully want to document my gigs as well, if I have permission to. I think that's pretty cool. I like the process more now, and I think I'm going to talk about that now. I like the process more rather than showing you the final product now. So I've been doing a couple of cardistry stuff, and I've put it on like my socials and stuff. But I've kind of like shown from like when I first started learning it, and I was pretty slow with the hand movements and stuff. And I released something like on Sunday that's been of me behind the counter fully doing that card move. It's only a really basic card move. Anybody can learn it, but it's just the fact that I kept doing it, and it motivated me more to practice it, because I was recording it and I put it up to my socials. That made me even want to not perfect it, but get it more that I'm happy with. You know what I mean? So yeah, I feel like documenting the process is a big thing that I've that I'm doing more really this year as well. What else is there? Just the process, like I was saying about the gig stuff. Like, the gigs that I do are always different, and I think the stuff that I put up on my socials are mainly like wedding ones that are taken by photographers. So like shout outs to all the like photographers that capture that moment, because you guys do wonders for us performers, and I've got loads of photos from like photographers from different events that have captured that moment of astonishment from the audience and the performer, like myself. So kind of like putting that in video form of me performing, like I want to see the progress. Like I remember I did a gig at Bradford City Football Club. It was a Christmas party there, and I believe that was like my second or third gig in, and luckily I have that documented in video. And I hate looking back at stuff, but I know I have to, and I've looked back at it, not now, but probably about last year or year before, and I've looked back at me performing then, and I remember at New Year's Eve, I got, shout outs to Marisha, I got Marisha to film there, and I seen like some of my performance from there. So that's a 4-year gap from December 2014 to December 2018, and you can see the difference straight away from how I performed, how I talked, my style and my personality. So like if I take that from December 2018 and 18, 19, 20, 21 and do it from December 2022, another 4 years, hopefully I'd progress then. But yeah, I do feel like, especially for magicians as well, like perfecting something, yes, like you would like to perfect a magic effect to show, but I'm kind of getting into the routine of, yes, I'm learning an effect, but I need to perform it and fail at it in order to succeed at it. And that's like anything in life, but I'm just talking specifically about a magician here. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do more, and I've done that loads of times now, and I felt so like not afraid but nervous of uploading stuff to social media, of like stuff that hasn't gone right. Like I remember I made a piece of micro content from my podcast episode, and it was what was it about? It was about showing mistakes really, and I put a few clips of me just getting a few card moves wrong, cards have fallen on the ground and stuff, and it was nervous. It was a bit like scary showing that, but once it was out there it didn't really matter, because 99% of the time people don't care anyway. Like they're just going to scroll through their Instagram feed or Facebook feed, whatever, so it doesn't matter. It's just and I felt like that was it for me. And tying back into the 2021 goals, it wasn't about numbers this year, it wasn't about likes, it wasn't about subscribers, it wasn't about people saying to me, oh Ricky, this is crap, oh Ricky, this is amazing. It was just about me seeing if I could push myself to put different pieces of content out there, and this year it worked, and hopefully I can progress on that in 2021. But yeah, I felt like that's the main thing on my mind, that I was trying to get into that goal topic. It's not about numbers or anything like that. I don't believe I've asked anybody, like I haven't messaged anyone this year saying please check out my video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I haven't, like, I've obviously said it on my podcast episodes and my vlogs, obviously that's how I sign out, but I haven't actually gone up to anybody through like DM, phone called anybody and said, oh just check it, because that wasn't it, that wasn't the thing for this year. the thing for me was to upload as much as I could that I was happy with, but yet I was pushing myself to put pieces out that I was uncomfortable with as well. And I felt like a good example of that is the £5 munch. The £5 munch video is a completely different video that I wouldn't have recorded a year ago. Even though I do magic in it, me going around the shop and telling you what I like to eat, that was never my plan for last year. So I feel like doing different stuff really does help complement other things that I do as well. So yeah, that ties into that really. I hope I'm doing really well, guys, for what I'm talking about. This is just, I love talking about stuff that's on my mind. And that's just been on my mind for when I'm looking at 2021 goals. And yeah, let's go to YouTube channel. That's on my notes. What did I talk about? That I'm just gonna put goals. I'm not gonna put. I'll do the topic name 2021 goals. Or I might just do it like one topic. I'll see what towards the end. My YouTube channel. I'm very happy with my YouTube channel. Like I said before, I don't care about subscribers, views. I just care about what I'm uploading. I'm seeing the difference to my first YouTube video that I did this year to my latest YouTube video, which was a vlog that I uploaded. And there is progression because my thumbnails aren't great, but back then my thumbnails, I didn't even do any thumbnails when I first got back into it. I just uploaded it and whatever the preset picture was, I just did that. But then I started making thumbnails and stuff, and I felt like that's progressed as well on my YouTube channel. Like, they're getting slowly better and stuff. I'm taking more time to do it, and I'm starting to get more into the SEO part of YouTube now. Literally just started that, so there's no progression in that yet, but you can tell that the more I do stuff, the more I'm going to progress into it, rather than reading everything here and then doing it all at once, because you won't get it right first time. So again, into that perfection doesn't exist really. So yeah, the more you do, the more you'll progress, and even if you fail at it, you'll learn, and then you'll overcome it, and you'll succeed. So yeah, that's what I like to do with my YouTube channel. Like, I put up, and I've said this in a previous episode, I've done over 100 videos now on my YouTube channel, and hopefully I can get to 200 by next year, for 2021, and hopefully I'll be putting out different pieces of content from there as well. And I know I've written here advice for creating content. There is no advice for actually creating content, if I'm honest with you. I think it just starts with you. And coming from myself, that's created the most content out of any year, for myself. I think it just starts with you, really. I know that was for me. I think if you just overcome the expectations and opinions of others, in real life, but mainly on social media, people that you know, they're not really nobody's gonna say anything about what you upload. And even if somebody does, saying, why did you upload that? It's not theirs, like, it's yours. So if you feel like they've said something for you to take it down, there's not really a reason for you to take it down, because that's just opinion of one or two people. And there's billions of people on this planet, so yeah, I think it just mainly starts with you. I think once you overcome that, the fear and opinions of others, for what you actually want to do, I feel like you can create as much content as you want. I think it just starts from there. Just on a side note, it's gone very bright now, and we're on like 8:30 nearly, so I'm quite happy with the brightness outside. But anyway, going back into that, if you get over that fear of opinions of others and stuff, I feel like the next thing is just see how much content you can actually put out, and try as much things as possible. Like I said, I did the £5 munch video that I never really would have done last year, but once I did it. So it's kind of just the range of content you actually want to put out. Really, that's the advice really that I'd give you. And once you hit a creative block, you hit a creative block. Like, just chill out and ideas will slowly come again, as I have experienced many times before. So yeah, I'm not really one to like give great advice, but I'm just trying to give you guys stuff that I've kind of dealt with stuff in my life for creating content and stuff like that as well. So I'm not an expert at it, I'm just telling you what I've been through, that's all, and how I've overcome it. Like I say in everything, I'm not an expert, I'm just learning, man. So there are many experts out there that you can check out on YouTube and stuff as well. What else? What else have I put here? YouTube, is there anything else I want to talk about on YouTube? For YouTube, I think that's it. I just think, like, for the YouTube / advice thing, just like what I've done, don't worry about subscribers, views and stuff. I feel like it'll come in time anyway. That's the last thing I want to look at. Because I feel like if you get too drawn into numbers, subscribers and stuff, you kind of lose yourself in the process. For how many likes and stuff, and I've done that in the past, like way early on for like Instagram and stuff, where it's like I didn't get as many likes as the last post, where now I just don't really give a crap. So don't try and get tied into numbers too much. Obviously it's good looking at data and stuff, but just don't try and get too tied up into it, if you know what I mean. What else is there to talk about? Let's go into live event predictions then. Live event predictions. So like I said, I'm hoping for like the second half of 2021 to kind of get up and running and kicking again. What is this, by the way? What is that on my camera? Oh, that's my thing. You know what? I thought it looked kind of like the, you know, that all the TikTokers use, that type of round light, but it was the handle of my, anyway, don't worry about that. So yeah, I'm hoping for like the second half of 2021 to get back up and running, hopefully. That is my prediction for like live events, whether that's taking the vaccine and you can go to events, or still testing people beforehand. So you have to apply to enter the event. So only so many people. So let's just make this small, okay? Let's just make this very small. Let's say there's an event and only 100 people are allowed, okay? Like guests. And then obviously you got the DJs and stuff like that, and the magicians and stuff. So that's kind of like excluded. Maybe you can get like 50 or 25 of the extra. But let's say if you get 100 guests, right? So that means they all need to get tested beforehand. So obviously if you either not win, but like get accepted to go in, or you get declined, so that's bang on 100. You get tested, boom, job's a good one, there's an event. So whether it's that way, or you're vaccinated and you need a card or some sort of scan, I don't know, right? I don't know what the next 6 months is going to hold, but I can only predict it. So if that happens, I feel like events could possibly restart again. And I think I said this in a very early podcast episode, like once events started and we're there in the hall or the place, and I just look around, like, and I think I said, like, we've made it, like, that's literally what I'm going to say. and I probably will vlog it as well. So yeah, that's my event. Hopefully, so I'm talking about June, July time, summer. Hopefully, okay. I'm really got my fingers crossed for this one. That's all I can do. I can just predict. There's not much else to say because that's basically what I think about that. Really. Am I rusty for performing? Now, this is what I haven't talked about. Yes, I am rusty from performing because I haven't performed magic properly in a while now. And I've been learning bits and bats earlier this year until I transitioned into just doing cardistry moves. That doesn't mean I've stopped doing magic. But yeah, I think I'm just trying to keep safe because it's very tempting to do magic in the shop to customers. But I just want to be safe at this moment in time, just from a business point of view, from the shop really, because then if I pass pack of playing cards to somebody and they touch it with their hands and then I touch the card with my hands and I end up touching my face and stuff, next thing you know I don't feel well. Next thing you know, everybody in the family business doesn't feel well, and then we have to shut the shop. Like, it's not great. Like, I'm not being negative or anything. That's just one scenario, but yeah, that's why I'm just being extra careful at this moment in time. Kind of sounds like an excuse, but it's not. So, but yeah, that's just what I'm thinking at the moment. But hopefully, like I said, in the next 6 months we can get back up and running. And look, if it happens faster, like if it happens in the next 2 months, a month, 2, 3 months, like I'm buzzing. Me, like fair enough, it's happened quicker. Like we can all get back to normal. But that's just my prediction. Like in the next 6 months. But if it happens quicker, like that's awesome. So what else should we talk about? I don't know really. I'm just winging this like from the top really. What else haven't I talked about? What did I talk about last week? Talked about Christmas being unique, fake magic. You know what? I don't feel like magicians get enough credit. Like I feel like there should be something for magicians, you know, like an awards. Like I know there's like a, but I feel like magic isn't as mainstream as I thought it was yet. Like it's grown, but I feel like it needs to be more. I feel like there needs to be something, like I don't know, like magic's. I know it's gonna take a long time, right? But do you know like how the Grammys are for like music? There needs to be a Grammys of magic, and I know there's one. Is it for like the Magic Castle or something? I could be wrong. I know there's one because I've seen it on the Richard Turner Dell Netflix special where he went to one. It might have been Magic Castle or something maybe. But I feel like there needs to be a Grammy of magic, like people just winning awards for stuff and stuff like I feel like it needs to be more mainstream magic. Like it's awesome, like the industry and the community that there is for magic. But it's just my opinion of where I feel like magic should go. And it's just one man's opinion. Maybe people just like it the way it is, but I feel like especially like Dynamo changed the game, man, and I don't feel like I've given him enough credit on this podcast like I've done in real life. Like Dynamo, like he wasn't the first magician that I've seen, but he was the one that had most impact on me. I remember watching like Magician Impossible. I just remember like it was yesterday. I was in my living room and I've told this story, but it's like I missed. Like it wasn't even the first episode. Like it'd been out for a couple of weeks, and I just randomly we just switched on the channel in the living room and it was there and it was just that butterfly scene and I was like, what the hell's going on? And yeah, it was just like, who is this guy? And I did like my research and stuff on YouTube and I just watched every single video that I could find. of Dynamo, and I rewatched the Magician Impossible first series. I got it on DVD as a Christmas present. I've got all of his series on DVD. Yeah, man, just, do you know what? I'm gonna put it out there. If I ever collaborate with Dynamo, right, I think that's it. I've done what I've accomplished because he's the guy that I look up to. I know I got like a photo and stuff with him and stuff like that, but that was for the book signing. I've talked about that story before. I think it was called like Meeting Dynamo. I can't remember what episode it was, but it'll be there somewhere. But yeah, if I ever get to the stage where I collaborate with other like magicians and stuff, especially like people like Dynamo and stuff, like I know like we're going places now, as well. But yeah, but loads of magicians I've got a wall here of magicians that have had a lot of impact, and David Blaine's on it. He's one of the people, and I remember watching David Blaine's Street Magic, and it was just so down to earth, authentic, real. He changed the game, man, and it was like you can do magic on the street to anyone. Like, excuse me, I've just yawned. Like, you can just go up to anyone. Like, it don't need to be a stage thing. Like, you can go up to anybody and just show magic. And I feel like that was for me, really. Like, I was very shy at the time. Like, this was before I'd watched Dynamo. I used to watch a little bit of magic here and there and try and perform. Well, not perform, but try and learn a few card moves, but never ever actually perform it. But yeah, I remember watching like Street Magic and stuff and just trying to learn. And this was like before the YouTube days. I don't think YouTube was as... I think it was just starting out. It was in the first year or so. So I wasn't really... or was it? What year was it? No, YouTube was out then. But it was only like 3-4 years in, I think. No, 4 or 5 years in. But I wasn't really looking on YouTube. I was just typing in on Google. And I was just clicking on the first page, and it was like a written explanation of some like magic effects and stuff. But it wasn't like I'm a very visual learner, so it didn't really work as much for me, reading as much stuff. But yeah, I was trying to learn as much and trying to do magic, but it didn't really work out. But it was Dynamo that really did spark the interest and love for magic. Really, as well. And it's very interesting. I'm very interested to see after this pandemic's ended, to see where magic will be again in the real world, because magic has done so well for online, especially this year, but I'm very interested to see where it goes, really for after the pandemic, whether that be 2021, 22. I mean, like when it's ended, when we don't have to say the word again. And I'm not going to say the word, but you know what I'm talking about. Wow, we're nearly on 40 minutes, guys. Pat yourself on the back if you've made it this long. I don't expect anybody really to make it this long in my podcast episodes. But if you have, really pat yourself on the back. I really appreciate you for listening to me talking about stuff that's just on my mind, really. Yeah, I'm just out here drinking my coffee. Black coffee as well, by the way. It's kind of a new vibe that I've been doing. Not been having milk with it. Just straight coffee, man. Try it. It might not be your thing, but give it a go. Right, should we talk about one more thing? Because I really don't want to end the podcast episode, because I felt like 2020 for podcasts this year, I've done so well. So maybe that's the reason why I don't want to end the podcast episode. But anyway, let's just go with the flow here, all right? Let's what should we talk about? We've talked about magic, we've talked about goals, we've talked about YouTube, we've talked about advice, we've done live event predictions. Let's talk about what have I been watching? I haven't been watching anything, you know. What have I haven't been watching anything. I used to watch loads of stuff back in the day. I tell you what, I love The Office. You know, the US version. It's probably like my favourite. And Friends as well. But the US Office is like, I've watched that twice, like 10 seasons. Yeah, it's hilarious. If you haven't seen that, like, check it out. It's amazing. This is just me just trying to think of stuff to say now, guys. But I think that's it really. I'm trying my utmost best in my mind to see where I can go with this. But I think this is it. I think I'm gonna have to end it here because I can't think of anything else. But yeah, I really do appreciate you guys listening to whatever I had to say really, and I'm just gonna put the freestyle part 2 because I can't be bothered listening back to this and trying to see what I talked about. So I know I did like the freestyle episode. I'm just gonna call this the freestyle part 2, and then I'll put in the description stuff that I've talked about and things like that. And yeah, or shall I call it the last episode of 2020? Oh, that might be more interesting actually. I think I'm going to call it that, the last episode of 2020. Yeah, alright guys, so I'm going to leave it here. I really appreciate you. I know I say that loads of times, but I do appreciate you for listening. Make sure to like, subscribe if you're on YouTube, rate if you listen to this on Apple Podcasts, and share it if you feel like anybody else that you know can relate or needs this as well. So yeah, guys, I will see each and every one of you in 2021. So you guys have a happy new year, and I'll see you then.